of what's poppin' and what's hot in the pop culture scene here on Popcorn. Munchin' with us every Thursdays from 4 to 6, only here on Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Nasistress ka na ba? Nagpapanik o natatakot dahil sa COVID-19? Normal lang ang ganitong mga reaksyon sa ngayon. Pero may magagawa ka para mapagtagumpayan ang sitwasyon na ito. Ituloy lang ang pangangamusta sa mga kamag-anak at kaibigan gamit ang text, tawag o video. Tiyakin na ang mga bata ay ligtas at nasa maayos na kalagayan. Gawin sa bahay ang mga nakasanayan upang hindi mabagot o mabalisa sa panahong ito. Sa wastong pag-iingat, ang virus hindi kakalat. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
Radyo-Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo-Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo-Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan.
Are you feeling sore? We can make that better. Tune in to the Ateneo Senior High School's first radio program, SOAR, the Seniors On Air Radio, where you can listen to music you want, straight from our playlists. Don't change that channel yet, because SOAR is ready to put the you in youth. SOAR, Seniors On Air, here on Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. The Jesuit Hour.
Wait, what? No! Let's try that again. Join the fun bunch of the Hugot Hour with Father J-Boy as we talk about anything and everything under the sun. Share your everyday Hugot moments and everyday Hugot quotes. G, tara na! Usap tayo! Bring your own baon, bring your own Hugot. The Hugot Hour with Father J-Boy and friends gathers every Monday at 6:30 to 8 in the evening. Only here on Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down! Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo-Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo-Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo-Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo-Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Calling on all young male professionals. Do you wish to live an extraordinary life? Are you tired of the routine and mundane and long for a dynamic, adventurous, and even dangerous life? Do you wish to make your life count and hope to make an impact long after you're gone? Do you wish to live a life of service to society, to country, and to dear Mother Earth? Then you are the one we are looking for. Consider the Society of Jesus. Join the Church's gallant army and turn your world upside down. Call the Jesuits Vocations Promotions Team 426-6101, local 3406. Once again, 426-6101, local 3406.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Iwasan ang pagkakaroon at pagkalat ng sakit na COVID-19. Palagiang maghugas ng kamay. I-check ang temperatura para sa lagnat. Umiwas sa matataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang mukha kapag hindi pa nakakapaghugas ng mga kamay. Iwasan muna ang pagyakap, beso-beso o paghalik sa ngayon. Maging maingat, maging ligtas.
Basta't laging handa at sama-sama, kaya natin to. Hatid sa inyo ng PCOO, DOH, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Mamangha sa lalim at ganda ng ating kultura at diwang makabayan sa mga salita at pahina. Sa tulong ng mga guro at manunulat ng panitikang Pilipino, halina't tuklasin ang yaman ng ating panitikan, ang pamana ng ating lahi. Ito ang Sari-Sari, tuwing Miyerkules, 11:00 ng umaga, dito sa Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Do you have concerns or problems about the school? Pag may dilema, huwag mag-alala.
Sabihin sa sango. Pag may dilema, huwag mag-alala.
Locate our boxes around campus and simply fill out the forms in the stations. Drop them in the box and boom, you're done. You can also fill out our forms online.
Sabihin sa sango.
This is a service brought to you by Your Sangu. Pag may problema, huwag mag-alala.
Jesuit Music Ministry, music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod. Todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Ipag the Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on MindEd.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
All right.
Hello
Good
and welcome to
evening.
MindEd, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. My name is Pat.
And this is B. I am just a letter. Good evening to you, Patrick. Good
Good
evening to
evening.
all our listeners, viewers.
Uh,
Yes. Pero wait, before tayo mag-good
mm,
evening at magkumustahan, we want to greet James, our operations coordinator here. A very happy birthday.
woo!
So, happy
Working on your
birthday.
birthday, James. What's up?
Yes, I know. We're still waiting for the pancit. Joke lang.
Oo nga. Amber. Parang hinihintay ko yung Amber. Ay, joke
Grabe,
lang.
may product
Wala.
placement.
Oo nga eh. Sorry. Peace. wala. Joke lang yun. No, happy
Anyway.
birthday, James. You're a treasure and you are a gift to us all. So thank you for being with us today. I mean, sana we're not in the way of any celebrations right now.
Yeah. Hindi naman tayo mag-overtime. Anyway.
Sana.
So, how are you? How have you been?
Ikaw muna. Ladies first.
Oo na nagtanong.
Sige na nga. Teka,
Sige
so
na, kaya mo
wala
yan.
lang. Last week, I'm still kind of coming off of the heels of our last episode last week with our stranger. I think if I remember, it was I
Si
kept
Aggie.
referring to her as Aggie, but her name I think was Agatha on the show.
Agatha. Yeah.
Yeah. Many malaman yung lessons, and you know I'm mindful that it's also been the first week of classes for a lot of the students, or kakatapos lang ng first week of for a lot of students. So I think it's when it's from this point onwards where things get really real, I guess. Just maybe like a succinct way to put it. Kasi diba, usually pag first week of classes, ano yun, orientation stuff. Yun. Ba? Tama ba? From a professor's perspective.
Usually. Oo.
Yeah.
Pero, yeah, okay.
Ako naman, not really necessarily dealing with any of that stuff because I've been not in school for a long time. Pero this past week, ano ba? Oo nga eh. Kaya pala ako yung pinapauna mo kasi it's hard to answer that question. But sige. Yeah, not really much has changed. I think, and I'm ultimately grateful for that because that means that there is stability and consistency with how things are going. Although it is September now, so this is a big month for me personally. Well, actually, not really necessarily. But it's our anniversary coming up. You were there, B, so I don't know if you remember, but yeah, it's our anniversary. It was also it's also Cassie's birthday coming up in a couple of weeks, so kind of preparing for that. But for the most part, like work-wise, stable, everything stable. So happy about that. Ikaw.
Galing. Okay, so yay for being steady and stable. Yeah, thank God for that. Alright.
Amen.
Ako naman, medyo eventful actually. Bakit nga ba siya eventful? Medyo eventful. Yeah, so my laptop died. And then, ayun, so parang yun na lang siya. So parang, sabi ko nga, pwede mo like mag-ano na lang tayo, grief counseling or something.
Guys, na lang sponsoran niyo ng laptop daw si B. Kirk, if you're listening.
Yun pala yun.
Thank you. Thank you to K3. K-Cube.
K-Cube. Anyway, so, yun. So that one. So, inisip ko pa kung ano yung mga next steps to do that. To ano, parang how to deal with it. And on the practical side naman, parang, anyway, wag na natin yung question about that. But yeah, kind of sad about it because, marami kami pinagdaanan ng laptop. Natatawa ako because it's an object. But yeah, we've been through a lot.
But I mean,
been my business partner for years. Kaya marami tayong nagawang projects with that one. So sige, rest ka na. And then so parang work naman is okay-ish, ganyan. Marami lang talagang
Yeah.
gina-juggle now. Pero kaya naman. I mean, I guess being able to manage the time pa rin is kind of tricky because of, yun nga alam naman ng lahat. Tatlong buwan. I think this is the income, parang going forth na ako dun sa new career path, I think. Ang bilis, diba?
Nice.
You realize, ang
Yeah.
bilis, ganyan. So,
Congratulations.
I am celebrating that. Other than that, ano ba? Wala naman akong bago pa masyado
Mhm.
nagawa. Yeah, parang medyo steady rin ang life, ganyan. Oh, wait! Kanina lang pala. This just happened. I got to chat with a friend, and then parang we both were parang talking about like being able to ano ba tawag dito, to write again, ganyan. As in yung parang writing just for the heck of it, ganyan. So sige, parang we're trying something new, ganyan. So exciting siya. So it's like an activity rin for us muna, tatry muna namin na kami muna. And then, pag mas comfortable na kami, then we'll probably open up the space to more people. But yeah, it's something exciting, something on the side to nourish the self, I guess.
I'm excited to hear more about that. So let's see where that goes.
Yeah, I'll may kwento na lang kapag medyo nagiging ano na siya. But yeah, it seems like it's a bright road ahead naman for that one. Wala naman na akong expectations. Just, alam mo yun, parang being able to do something outside of like work or the things that you have to versus the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay naman.
Be honest with me, aren't you super grateful that you got an iPad though?
Well, oo. Kasi blessing in disguise nga siya.
Can you imagine if your laptop had died and you didn't have the backup?
Yeah. I mean, hindi naman natin in-announce dito sa show that I got a new toy.
Sorry.
But
na-out na kita. Sorry.
But yeah. Sige na nga, dahil medyo na tayo sa kwento na yan. The reason why I got it and not a new laptop then is for me to limit work then that I am taking on. What is that face, Patrick?
How's that working out so far?
What is that face?
Did it really limit working though?
It did.
Okay.
Dude, it did. I swear, it did. Okay. And I think mas grabe malilimit pa siya ngayon kasi wala na akong choice.
Correct.
So
That's
it's
true.
just like deciding on how to manage it. Will I buy a new laptop? Or para kasi feel ko ngayon, sa ngayon parang hindi pa.
Okay.
Yeah. Parang this setup that I have now is okay for me and my needs. My needs talaga that I said I have to accomplish. Yeah. I can survive with it. And thank you for making me budol. Binubudol mo ako ng ilang taon. Isang taon ba?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah,
ever since
taon.
Iloilo pa yata.
Yes, oo. I tried yours pa to see if I can function the work stuff, ganyan. But since I changed work, so hindi na masyadong important yun.
Yeah. Si James daw. James, bili ka na din. Happy birthday.
Ano ba yan? James' birthday gift. Ganyan.
Oo, deserve mo yan. Pwede mong mag-control ng Zoom from
actually kaya niyang kaya mo mag-broadcast from here and do all of the magic that you're doing now.
That is true.
Kaya siya, oo. Tsaka medyo matagal na siya, hindi lang natin siya ina-announce dito sa show.
May OBS pa sa iPad. Anyway, sorry, wait, we're getting too into the iPad. That's not even the content of the episode. Sorry. Sige nga,
Okay, sige. So, balik tayo sa discussion. If you remember, guys, and Pat, last year, we had, kumbaga, Maxine and his dad.
Her dad, yeah.
Maxine and dad, Sergino, to talk about or to share the experience of the shift nga to online classes. So we got the experience or the perspective of the student and the parents. And then the second naman, parang part two of that, we invited Father J. Boy Gonzalez to
Yeah.
give us the context naman kung ano na nangyayari sa Davao. That's one. And how they are taking care of the school admin naman, the teachers, ganyan, school services, and everything.
Mhm.
Now, since yun nga, you mentioned a while ago that we're back to school start of classes na naman, ganyan. So, balik ang focus natin sa students. And I'm actually very excited sa guest natin because siya yung unang-unang guest natin on our very, very first
Ever.
episode.
Yes,
ever,
correct.
ever. As
Ever.
in, na-witness niya yung baptism of fire natin.
Oo nga eh.
As
Let's get his
showrunner.
feedback later based on like how he remembers our dynamic on the very, very, very first episode to compare to like versus how we are now. So
Yes.
without further ado, sige nga, B, ikaw.
Kakainis sa mga setup mo biglang bato. Kakainis. Ayun. So yun nga, without further ado, we welcome back to MindEd, radyo-katipunan, the director of the Loyola School's Office of Guidance and Counseling, Mr. Gary Faustino. Good
Sir
evening,
Gary,
sir.
welcome.
Hi,
Welcome
good evening.
back.
Good evening, everyone. Oo, it's been, first episode nga pala yun.
Years. Ikaw yun.
Years ago. And I remember
Okay.
the studio then.
Ah.
Parang talaga
Oh my God.
makeshift lang, tipong, kasi nga, dito ka papasok, gano'n, tapos, saan tayo dito? Parang gano'n.
That's right.
But it was good. I mean, you've gone a long way.
I hope so. We never know. Sana naman. No, but it's good to see you, Sir Gary. I was saying backstage na, it's refreshing to be able to see you again, but you've changed. I mean,
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Physically,
you physically, yeah, you've lost a lot of weight, and we're happy to know that you've been taking care of yourself very, very well throughout the pandemic. Yeah, but I mean, sige, catch us up. Usually how we start the show, I don't know if we did this since the very, very beginning, but usually now how we start the show is we just kind of check in and ask not just each other, but our guests too. How are you?
Oh, okay. I mean, I think one thing I survived 1 year of the pandemic, and
yeah.
When people see me, they see me as someone who's quite stable, unperturbed by everything that's happening. But that's not true. Everyone's affected by the pandemic,
so true.
And it crept into me also. But so towards the end of actually the school year last year, so it somehow affected me, and I had to go on a break. And I didn't go on a break last year because we were struck by the pandemic already. So I was intending to do that around July. So, but this time again, the opportunity came. So I had a little vacation in spite of having to be tested before going.
Yeah.
With my family, I went to Batangas.
Ah.
And then had a 2-week break from the office, and also included in that is a silent retreat. So I did a 4-day retreat. So that was revitalizing. I think that's the word for it. So I'm recharged for another year. Next year,
The beauty that 2 weeks can do and 4 days of silence can do. Parang 1 year. Oh my God.
Grabe.
Malaking bagay talaga yan. And so that's a self-care. And well, as far as families is concerned, we've had our own share of scare within friends, deaths left and right and all that.
Yeah.
But it's also good to have supportive family who would, reach out to you. And sabi ko nga kay B kanina, or both of you actually, this thing expanded our horizon. So we're in touch with everyone else. And if you didn't visit each other before, you'd probably set an appointment now and say, oh, usap naman tayo, and update each other like this, no?
Yeah.
After so long. So that we're trying to do right now. And so even though they are far, far away, and there are so many barriers between us. We still are able to communicate. So that's a blessing, and it
Yeah.
doesn't know yung distance. You know, there's no longer a barrier, at least for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yun yung uh, a lot of exciting things also, I guess. So happened throughout this whole year that passed, for the Loyola schools as far as the office is concerned, and still challenging times ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yun.
We're
Right.
happy to have you here to also discuss all of the things that you have that your office has planned for the year. But sige,
Mhm.
I mean, it's such a shift since or ever since we first spoke. 3? 3 years
Probably,
ago.
yeah, 3 years ago.
Yes, three
Yeah.
years
Tagal na
ago.
nun.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
What was it like
Ah,
for OGC to shift from,
Ah,
or what was the process of determining how to shift from,
mm,
pre-pandemic to lockdowns and everything? Because I remember, I think when the lockdown started, classes were completely suspended for a while. So what was that like for you guys?
mhm.
well, it was, well, as repeatedly they would say it's a VUCA world, no? So volatile,
Yeah.
uncertain, complex, and ambiguous.
Ambiguous,
But
yeah.
uh, the first thing was the mock lockdown, which
Mm.
Ateneo took on for supposedly 1 week, and but we played it that it might extend. So we started to. I told the team, I think we just have to bring our files, because once it's a real lockdown, we won't
Yeah.
be able to come back to office. So we started, bringing our physical files. It was kind of difficult because some of us lived in faraway places. So I have team
Right.
members who's in Isabela, Iloilo,
Oh my.
Laguna, and all that. No, so we went for 1 week. When then we started discussing on how to convert into online. Of course,
Mhm.
the more immediate need was to actually try to assuage the community in dealing with the pandemic, and to provide some sort of, what do you call this, different debriefing ways, counseling, if you want to call it that, no, ways of
Mhm.
talking to one another. And so
Mhm.
we opened the lines for counseling. So,
Right.
and it was, how would you say it, grouping, because we were not used to it. That's one.
Yes. Yes.
And if you attend our webinars on active listening, one of the most difficult things to
Mhm.
do is actually to listen on using, you're talking to someone on a flat screen.
Yeah.
Yes. Apo.
Yeah.
That's
Where
true. That's
and
true.
93% of communication is nonverbal.
Mhm. Yes.
So you're looking for cues, no, communication cues, but can't see it. You only see about the shoulders
Yeah.
and up. So
Mhm.
that was a concern. Then some of the counselees are too ashamed to actually open their cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
biased about the privacy. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's connectivity. So we had to
That's
go
Mhm.
true.
through that difficult time of
Mhm.
So there weren't much, what do you call this, inquiries or even consultations during the first few months. It was when we were able to iron out our own connectivities, when things became better. We had our, what do you call this, internet connections, and our gadgets were in place, because the Ateneo was very supportive. So if you need
Nice.
to take out one of the computers in the office, you do so, and that was the process, no? So isa-isa yun. Bring them out and on, and
Buti
then
na lang.
connectivity that was provided for. So online became better, but still it was a difficult time for the students and the teachers.
For
Okay,
sure.
it's both. So,
Yeah,
and I'm sure
for
the parents too,
sure.
no? But
For
Uh-huh.
uh,
sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
so you've had lots of inquiries in that regard, asking for how to deal with what's happening and all that. So yon, and as you went through the year, there were moments that it really picked up even more. Because the first The first salvo was actually the intercession of last year. So everybody was trying to be teaching online. Those who were, more or less trying to grow also on how to use the new LMS, the learning management system. So they tried to do that. It was traumatic for a lot, both teacher and student.
Nako, mga tech phobia.
Kasi hindi nila tansyado pa di ba? Yung requirements mo, 1 month. Tapos, synchronous, no? So, medyo gulo-gulo doon. So, medyo nakapag-adjust na doon. So, we thought, pagdating ng first semester, because not everybody goes through the intercession. Pagdating ng first semester, ulit yan. And much worse this time because those who didn't attend the intercession gets to feel what online teaching is all about. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, it's divided into quarters. So, mabilis.
Mas mabilis.
Mabilis siya. Tapos, na-overwhelm. So, you can see anxiety pick up. Ganon.
Yeah.
Tumasyon. Tapos, binagyo pa tayo. Ulysses.
Oo nga.
Yes. Yeah.
Tapos pagdating ng Pasko, September, nakita mo na si Jose Marichan. Sayang, biro lang yan ang February. Sayang, biro lang yan. I will see you in September. Totoo nga. Nakikita nga ng September na nandun online. So anyway, yun, it just picked up again towards December. And I think people were, the uncertainty kasi eats you up. And so the students were really, the anxiety level was going up.
Yeah.
So, ganun yung that's the whole experience. And we just tried to provide what we could. And trying to convert everything that was physical before to something online.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm glad that you were able to kumbaga, adapt well to the shift, although it was a process. Naramdaman natin ang proseso. But thank you. We had Ateneo backed us up, and then we really were able to kumbaga, get the right people also to partner with. Yun yung na-imagine natin. So, before we continue siguro the discussion, we'd like to, I guess for Gary, we can invite them to watch like a video that you guys shared with us to sort of like summarize or give like an overview of the programs that we have now with the Office of Guidance and Counseling. So James, just whenever ready, let's play the video and we'll get more context from Sir Gary when we return. Roll VTR.
Here is a guide through the different online services of the Loyola School's Office of Guidance and Counseling. When the campus lockdown started on March 12, 2020, the first priority of the LSOGC was to adapt their services online so ADMU students are still able to avail of them. They worked as a team to quickly adapt their services. Clear and accessible online communication system was put in place so students can easily set appointments with their respective counselors. Through the LS1, the virtual one-stop student services, students were also able to connect to the LSOGC office. As a result, counseling sessions were seamlessly adapted to the online setting. The different methods currently used for telecounseling are video chat on Google Meet, email exchanges using Gmail, chatting on Google Hangouts, and also through phone calls. The method largely depends on the preference of the students. An important area that LSOGC focused on was to strengthen their social media presence. They made sure that they are visible online. Students can contact LSOGC 24/7 by phone, email, or chat. through their official email address and their Facebook page. They communicate important information directly to students through email. They also post information online. Since there is an assigned counselor for each student, this is another line of communication with them. The guidance testing also had to be adapted online. It was successfully conducted at the beginning of the first semester. Test results from the online guidance testing are used to help support the students' psychosocial growth. Instead of individually offering webinars on the different life skills, the LSOGC created the Wellness Toolkit program, a program on nurturing the self and finding meaning. This program used the ADMU's learning platform, Canvas, so students can enjoy learning the modules at their own pace. The Wellness Toolkit program includes self-strength and resilience, emotion regulation, and social competence. Additionally, on September 16, 2020, the LSOGC launched the first 2 episodes of their podcast, entitled Coffee Sessions with Your Counselors. This podcast focuses on health and wellness. Each episode has a featured guest, and the topic focuses on the different aspects of mental health. They are currently now on their 8th episode. The LSOGC managed to still celebrate the Wellness Week, an annual week-long event aimed at raising acceptance and awareness of mental health. It offered various online activities and webinars to students. The Sopas to Pass was also creatively continued online. This is a witty take on the soup kitchen, where LSOGC provided free and warm soup to tired and stressed students during midterms and finals. This year, they posted a do-it-yourself version of the recipe, so students may continue to enjoy the soup in their own homes. The animal-assisted activities of the LSOGC has to be put on hold. In its place, they created Therapets. These are online posts of pets that give people who see them much love and happiness. The ADMU students and personnel were invited to submit their unique pet stories along with pictures of their pets. LSOGC adjusted to the new reality and conducted webinars of various topics to address different needs of the students. This included dog tours in school, which was in collaboration with Community Tales, Imagining Hope, Cultivating Resilience in Our Home, Gardening for Wellness. Even when it was conducted online, students still enjoyed it very much. There was also art journaling, which was in collaboration with Psyche, a student organization. In line with the Wellness Toolkit program, creating a personalized self-care blueprint was also conducted. The LSOGC Facebook page continues to actively post relevant and interactive contents. Mental health information are presented in a concise and graphic form using infographics. Beautifully and artfully designed inspirational quotes are posted weekly. Relatable memes are also posted to connect with the students' experiences. The Freedom Posts of the LSOGC hopes of engaging students even more. This is a post asking a question where students can answer in any way they can. Lastly, LSOGC also launched a digital poster making contest to stimulate creative students to design a poster on how they have been taking care of themselves.
In summary, LSOGC made the most out of the resources to continue to provide mental health and psychosocial support to the LS community in this online setting, while facing the challenges of the pandemic themselves. In the Ignatian spirit of Magis and Cura Personalis, the counselors and staff of the LSOGC prioritize giving quality service to the LS community.
Wow.
Yay! That deserves like a standing ovation.
Ano na lang. Boom.
Kaya gusto ko si Sir Gary na guest eh. May mga may mga visual aids, may mga
prepared,
materials.
prepared.
Parang yung di ba yung mga karaoke doon, may dala ka pala
Yes.
-1.
May kasama. Ang galing.
Kasama.
So, thank you for the video. Thanks James for the video.
Oo nga. Galing mo
Sorry,
talaga, James.
Patrick, sorry, I think I caught you. You were about to say something.
No. I was just gonna say that it's all of the initiatives sound relevant and amazing, but I being like a mental wellness healthcare provider also, I can't begin to wrap my head around how difficult it must have been to get all of that together, because it wasn't as simple as, well, for me as a like an individual therapy provider, it was relatively more simple. It was just, okay, we can't meet in the clinic, and therefore let's meet online. But you guys have all of these programs and initiatives, and there's a lot of capacity building. I imagine that must have been involved in that, and like, I guess, like converting staff into tech people, and migrating all of these old or traditional programs that worked into online stuff, like yung mga therapists na dati, you had this space where you had all of the animal assisted therapy certified pets in one space, and now it's like all posted online. So sorry, what was that like to
That
migrate
conversion.
all of that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess for one thing, we went through our own difficulty trying to wrestle with all the things that we were doing before and thinking on how to convert it. But I guess necessity is the mother of invention. You want to
Correct.
reach out, you want to reach out to the students. You have to be more creative than you were before. And
Yeah.
so you start with online counseling, so that was in place. So how do you reach out to those who don't want to go for counseling, given the constraints that I earlier mentioned about privacy, connectivity, and what have you?
Right.
Then there has to be another way of getting them. And so we thought about really maybe converting some of the old things that we were doing on a regular basis in LSOGC to something online. Like, for example, the sopas to pass. So somebody thought, sige, wag na natin, paano natin pakakainin? Hindi naman natin pwede pakainin, no? Kasi bawal tayo sa eskwela. O bigay na lang natin yung recipe. O di binigay namin yung recipe. So there were some students who really prepared it, no, at home, because the soup kitchen had a loyalty among not only the students but some faculty. They would visit that place. Sabi ng faculty nga, sabi, ba't kami walang ganyan, no? So so they would take the soup kasi we noticed nga during midterm students don't eat. You will encounter them in school. The last meal was the day before. And so that respite of just stopping and then having a full bowl of soup, they would frequent it even more. And sorry, binibilang namin, nakailan na yan. So nakailang balik na, no? So it was fun. It was a good thing because that soup was really good. But we couldn't share that recipe because that was our supplier. So we had to come up with our own recipe. So the dogs again, that was the animal assisted therapy. That was a concern. So although during the time last year, while we were, there was that lockdown, GCQ pa yata noon, but we could still go out. For we decided to do, kasi there was a graduate student interested in the animal assisted therapy, particularly animal assisted counseling. And so we wanted to quote unquote professionalize it in the sense that more research is brought into the picture. We draw some more evidence that it does work, and because there's nothing in the Philippines right now that would tell you that it does work. No, of course, all the materials are outside of this country. So we want to build our own data. And so four of us, no, those who had dogs, volunteered to be trained one to train the trainer, so to speak. And so we brought our pets over. The pets were trained to be more docile, to obey certain commands, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Now, that's a big difference from how it was in the beginning. If you were familiar with the animal assisted therapy before or animal assisted activities, the training was just between a screening between, or we call it hats, the human animal team. So the human is trained to actually handle, of course, the dog,
Yeah.
and of course a situation where there are others who would play with the dog. Then the dog is also screened, making sure that the dog doesn't react adversely to sudden movements, certain touches, no,
Yeah.
and making sure that it doesn't bite too.
Yeah.
So it was just merely an exposure to everyone else. So, but during the pandemic, we thought maybe it's a good time to prepare ourselves that when we come back, it's more than just that. That this time we will use the dogs for therapy, and you will need a licensed counselor to actually bring in his dog into a therapy session. So that was what the training was about. And so the graduate student who did the study and gave us at the end of it was a manual, is still with us, no, and we're trying to work out things now in preparation for the return. That the four therapists who have their pets will go back for a rehash, or say a retraining, and
Mhm.
then hopefully with those people who come into the university, if it turns blended, then we can actually conduct these things and start to
Wow.
gather data, and hopefully um, it will come to its no, to our dream that it will bring in more, because we believe that the dogs have actually changed the image of LSOGC from where it was before,
Yeah.
and has improved it now, especially now if you're going to use it really in therapy, then that really. So these are things that happened during last year. And though we could not, of course, have sessions in the university, then some guys thought, well, let's just make them appreciate pets. And so all sorts of pets. That's why you even had birds there. You have the cats. No, we normally don't bring the cats to campus
Yeah.
because they're prohibited from campus, di ba? Binabawalan na yung mga pusa eh. So yung
Yeah.
mga ganon. So it brought a different flavor to it. Of course, it's still online. The best is still, But everything, I guess, was trying to be, put things in good use. Now, in all these things, in trying to develop this, so you had to draw people into volunteering. Going back to your question, Pat, no?
Yeah.
Um, how did you have to retrain and all these? I guess there's a wealth of talent, no, and that people just needed to be tapped, and you let them give them some push, if not push, encouragement, and like coffee sessions, the podcasts just was a brainchild of one of the counselors, and three of them got excited about it, so they put their resources together, they programmed, and they got it in place. Yung ganun lang ba? So the person who was in charge of the gardening, yeah, um, we used to call it therapeutic horticulture.
Yeah.
So you just manage the situation where you have your camera at home and then
Yeah.
you continue planting. And there were people who actually went through the process of planting and decorating their pots, and it was very therapeutic as well. Um, what else? So there was the art, art workshop, and of course the webinars.
Yeah.
Now, the webinars did present some difficulty because it's I think it simulated what students were doing as far as academics is concerned. They were using Canvas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was if that was detrimental to their actually participating in these webinars, kasi Canvas is a reminder
Uh-huh.
that you are
They have a relationship, a
oo,
different
may
relationship
association
with
doon, di
the
ba? Parang, oh, ito na naman, Canvas naman, ganon. But there's been an increasing number, and we've opened ourselves also to outside Ateneo,
yeah.
meaning we advertised outside and they came in, they joined the webinar. So it's an increasing we're not satisfied yet, okay, as far as numbers are concerned, and that's why also we had to reorganize ourselves this school year, so that we can probably push our programs even more, because even if you have very good programs, if no one attends, then that's yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got our marketing arm, we got our research arm, we got our programs arm. So it's decentralized, so they can work on these things. I don't have to be there. They can just work on it. So, and the supervision for the guidance counselors and the psychologists are also separate. So in that token, we become more active, and talents are tapped for what they can do. And I don't know. I guess it's a spirit that's been moving. I'm also surprised, no,
Yeah.
at the rate people were working and giving up themselves. So yon. So in that token, the pandemic was something good to everyone. Now, did we suffer? I think on an individual basis, yes,
Yeah.
because some of us are married and have children, so they faced also the difficulty
Yeah.
of having to work at home, and some of them have little children who want attention, and they're in a counseling situation. So medyo nahirapan yung mga
Yeah,
no, and
yeah.
you're still a mother, and
Yeah.
everybody expects you, you're also a wife, your husband expects you, so yung mga ganun sitwasyon. So we had our share, and that's why it's also important for the team to actually self-care. So on a regular basis, we come together. Wala lang. It's designated once a week. Sometimes we take it, sometimes we don't. So minsan kwentuhan lang. Minsan may cooking instructions, how to make an omelette. And there's one who, simple lang, no? Kasi isang oras lang yung self-care na yun eh.
Yeah.
So just to unwind, and of course there are times that we split into groups for some sort of debriefing, especially if you're going through something already.
Yeah.
And again, the Loyola Schools is very cognizant of what we are in, the kind of service we do, and how taxing it can be, and that's why we also have access to counseling ourselves, no? I mean, outside of our, so an external provider has been given to us. So those who were already experiencing difficulty, they have access to these things. So yon. Just try to make do with what you have, and voila, yun yung lumabas. So
Yeah.
Right. Grabe yung make do with what we have. Pero I was
Ang dami.
expecting na parang, I mean, for me, I guess like 4 major programs
Yeah.
is already a handful. But no, they have what ilan po ba? 11 back then. Ang
Probably
dami
more.
ng programs. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then and you have sub-programs pa under those umbrellas. And what I really liked about the programs that you have is that of course you have counseling, we have sharing of the podcast and all of those the therapists and the webinars. These are all consumed by the students or by the
Yeah.
participants of these programs. But what I like about this is that there are also programs that allow them to engage na yun like the questions ano kaya the relatable memes yun yeah they're able
Yes.
to react to them they are able to relate to it and it's very kumbaga student focused talaga like
Yeah.
ito yung reality, let's make a meme about it and let's make it relatable. So parang
Exactly.
yeah and then we have the freedom posts where
Right.
they answer like questions or polls. So parang in a way it's also giving them a space to express and to be heard. And then I think you're picking up the cues from there and then just plan na rin according to that. So it's really amazing and inspiring how you were able to maximize, and I cannot emphasize it enough, maximize online platforms with an S. ang,
Yeah.
ang dami.
Dami.
Parang piniga talaga. I guess the creative juices were just really flowing dun sa office ninyo or the virtual office, let's say.
Yeah, I guess so. And people just contributed, and they were egging each other to support one another. Like the previous webinar, I think that was that. We called it TikTok. Yeah, after the TikTok thing, di ba?
Yes, yes.
But this time TALK.
Yes.
But it was a rehash of basically what the webinars were before, and then just arranged it in a week. But everybody was even someone who's our adapted counselor, because she came from the residence hall is closed right now, so she came in with us to be adapted for a year until the residence hall opens again. So even she jumped into the activity. So you had 5 straight activities. I think, in fact, I think it was up to 6, no, including for the athletes, no, in stress management. So everybody was just contributing left and right. And I guess it was not a busy season as well because it was the intercession.
Yeah.
So you don't get too much of those queries and counseling during the intercession, especially after the intercession, in between the intercession and the first semester. So ano yan. So it was very good timing, jumping into that. And I must say, and I just give it up to the team. They were the ones who were working at it. No? So sila talaga yon. So if there's anything that LSOGC should be admired for, it's each and every member who
Absolutely. I agree.
contributed to the whole thing.
Agree. Yeah.
Grabe.
I'm just so happy to hear that at least from the OGC's not point of view, what's the word? At least on that side of things, you guys are really to talk and very intentional about the things that you guys are doing. And it's, I guess, at a certain point, I'm proud, but also at the same time a little ano ba? Not to throw some darkness or some like a dark cloud over it, but also I don't know if you feel this also, but there are times kasi na with all of the work that I'm putting into helping the patients that I work with or the clients that I work with, especially the students, sometimes I realize also that I'm not enough, and I wonder, is that something that you guys also kind of struggle with, and how do you guys struggle with that, or how do you manage it, if ever?
Okay, I guess for one thing, we do have a system of referral. If, for example, at a certain point, you just have to admit yourself that it's not working, and you're just going around in circles with a particular client, then it would be best that you refer sometimes within,
Yeah.
okay, and sometimes from out, okay,
Yeah.
from outside without, no. And in that case, I think most of us, if not all of us, those who are in counseling,
Yeah.
have put it in our hearts that we don't have the answers to everything,
Yeah.
and we'll be the first to let go of someone that probably is going around in circles with us, no? And it's not, the counseling relationship is not working. So although the thing also that we're trying to guard against is sending someone off unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it doesn't seem to be working, at least to your perception. And that's why it's important for us to come together for clinicking.
Yeah.
So we do that. We have a scheduled clinicking once a week, but again, that's taken or not taken depending on cases that we need to actually consult the rest. No, and in that, some of the counselors who hit a snag, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and they start questioning themselves as well. We That's where encouragement comes in. Like, for example, we did have a case which was very serious, very clinical, and the counselor felt that her training wasn't enough for her to deal with it. But the student kept going back to her, and we said that there must be something there that's working.
Yeah.
Okay, because there were some changes that she noticed with this guy, and
Yeah.
he kept on coming back. And so it's so easy to refer out. We could do that. No, that's something that we can do. But however, we said to her, stay on, because the relationship that you've already established is part of the therapy.
Yeah.
And maybe this guy needs some sort of reassurance that it's a safe place to be in, and they can talk to someone who would feel the security, of non-judgmental attitude towards him and all that. And so may mga ganon that we try to work out. Now, yeah, there is that feeling also, as you mentioned, na, am I good enough for this? Or why am I doing this in the first place? Why am I beating myself, no, to stay on the longer term or go the extra mile for these people? But I guess we come in also with our little affirmations. I was just reflecting a while ago prior to this show
Mm.
as to how to, set myself for the questions here. And I just remembered the 10 lepers, that the Lord healed, and only one of them returned. If one of your counselees come back to you and tell you how he or she appreciated and how he or she was helped during that time, it erases all the tiredness that you experience in a year of labor, quote unquote, no, in trying to help people. And some of them don't appreciate your help, okay? Some of them will take you negatively too. So, yung mga ganun ba? That sense of affirmation, then, and kasi it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
Nobody will announce, hey, I went through counseling session with Gary and he did well. That would mean incriminating myself that I had some mental health concerns.
Yeah.
So we never get that. So
Yeah.
silently, these people, if they affirm us, wow, that keeps us buoyed up. And unfortunately, we cannot announce it all to also to
Oo
everyone
din.
else.
Oo
Yeah.
naman.
Oo, ganun din eh. Kaya that's very real. Your point. It gets dark. It gets, you tend to question and sort of quote unquote close into burning out. And that's why we kamustahan kami ng kamustahan. O, kamusta na kayo? Ganun. And that is that you have to keep, and watch for each other really. So it's really a team effort on our part.
Yeah, and you are each other's support system.
Yes.
So, ang galing. Siguro, Sir Gary, what do we'd like to sana to stay and chat more. Dapat ata ginawa natin tong part 2 o
Oo nga.
two-part
Dapat two-parter.
special. Oo. Siguro
Pero
when
sobrang
we
malaman.
have when we have siguro pagka we can go one by one siguro pag malapit na. But ano po yung mga immediate or ongoing programs na or upcoming programs that the students
That
or
we
the
can encourage
campus
the students to participate.
yung mga
So,
mangyayari ng September, October siguro, no?
well, it's ongoing at this time. One thing, in as much as you can say that OGC has tried to work as an office, you can also see the students working. Sanggunian, for example, I worked with Sanggunian the past years trying to form peer support groups, small group support. That is something that early on when I joined LSOGC, I wanted in place, but had difficulty putting it in place because of schedules and the other constraints that came in. Now, after so many times that we tried to bring it together, Sangu, in this present leadership, decided to work with us closely. Okay, and they have come together to two commissions. One is the commission on sexual misconduct and violence, and then the other one is on mental health. So in dalawang commissions na yan, they're working with us to form those peer groups. Okay, so they have gone through active listening. So the next step would actually be the modules to train them for probably just leading a discussion and then detecting who may need to be referred. So we have actually gave a framework with them. We worked out a framework with them that there is a primary care, there's a secondary and a tertiary. So the primary care would be the groups. In other words, we're also trying to diffuse ourselves from having to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
So if you are able to go to a group and, parang community, you can tell your woes in that group and they know how to listen. There's no judgment on you. It's open. It's a safe place. Then well and good. But that group also becomes a referral point to the secondary care who we are. So the counselors are the secondary care. And a tertiary care would be psychiatrists and outside service providers. So ganun yung steps nun, no? And we're trying to design the modules right now. The good thing about reorganizing yourself, so there's someone who's working at the same time, and I'm working with Sangu, coordinating the whole thing. So that's coming, and I'm praying that this time it works, and that we start with multiple groups, coming together, and that support. If it catches fire, then we deal with the primary care. Now, what are the programs that are still in the offing? The animal-assisted counseling.
Yeah.
Because earlier I told you, how it evolved, that we wanted it, that 4 of us actually volunteered for the role. So this time, for whoever probably, we will do a pilot in the university once we are cleared to come in. Okay, probably for some employees and those who are still residing within. There are some students who are still residing on campus. So we'd probably do the pilot and hopefully we'd be able to gather enough data to justify that during the blended, if ever there will be a blended system, that some of us may come in with our dogs. Okay.
Okay.
But that's a program 2 years now. So yun, yung groups, of course the webinars will continue. The wellness weekend or the wellness week we slated during the wellness month, which is October.
Okay.
So yung ganon, we're trying new tests, one of the challenges nga pala was actually converting the test to online. And the standardized tests are very expensive.
Yeah.
So we did not get the online option, but rather use something that's available.
Yeah.
So even that, people were creative and were able to get. So yung mga ganung sistema, we're trying to work with faculty. Like for example, in the area of formation, mistiso kasi ang LSOGC eh. On one hand, it's service. Oo, hybrid, no? On one hand, it's service. On the other hand, it's also involved in formation. So we work with ENAF, with ADSEF, the Associate Dean for Student Formation.
Yeah.
So that there are certain programs which involve a little bit of psychology. Doon kami pumapasok. So yung ganon. So we're interested in working closely with them, and hopefully we're staging one for the seniors this coming September, October for 3 weeks, no? Wherein a certain test will be discussed with them so that they get, kasi part of the formation is awareness. Ignatian spirituality will tell you of awareness and the like. No? So to increase that kind of awareness. So yun yung purpose namin. So we come into that. But there are other opportunities, like for example, the psych department and the socio-anthro department work on a subject called understanding the self.
Yeah.
And we proposed before that we work with them, that it becomes mandatory for the students, the freshies actually, to seek an understanding of themselves as part of the
Through counseling.
course.
Yeah.
Yes. So that you sort of have to visit OGC while you're enrolled. And so the theories that you learn in class online, you put into practice by, talking to a counselor. This is what I learned. Any questions ko about this? So the counselor should be able to explain. So sort of bridging, it's a multidisciplinary and all sorts of things coming together. So maraming pwedeng gawin. So,
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. So you heard that kids, hindi man kids, you heard that students, it's important to be able to really spend time to take care of yourself. And sometimes part of that is talking to somebody about what you're going through. Thank you, Sir Gary.
Thank you, Sir Gary. And just,
Thank you also
visit.
for having me.
Sunod, guys, just visit the Facebook pages, social media. They're everywhere. Hindi kayo mahihirapan maghanap. Magaling na kayo mag-search, guys. So just head over to their pages and seek help. Tingnan niyo yung mga programs and see where it's best which is best for you. And so again, Sir Gary, thank you so much for accommodating our invitation. We'll invite you again to discuss your programs na isa-isahin natin, bigyan natin ng special spotlight.
Tatawagin ko na yung program head pagdating.
Yes, of course. Anyway, thank you again, Sir Gary. Thank you, James. Thank you, Patrick.
Happy birthday again, James.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you,
James.
Happy birthday,
Sir
James.
Gary. Yeah.
All right, so guys, this has been MindEd, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. Again, my name is B. I am just a letter.
And my name is Pat. We'll see you again next week. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
I hope.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on MindEd.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Radyo-katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo-katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo-katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.